It's Tiffany Gaines, host of the Seekers Podcast. I got to tell you, once again, I'm listening to some people giving me some rich nutrition, some spiritual nutrition. I say this all the time. Even if you're not like spiritual, godly spiritual, the principles of living a mentally sound life, the principles of living a sound and stable emotional life, I feel like there's some spiritual connection needed to do that. And as I say all the time, I spend a lot of time listening to people who are insightful in this category. Sometimes I listen to people who are from a group of people that I am personally triggered by. I am personally triggered by ministers and churches who teach doctrine that send me to hell. I am personally triggered by those people. I came across TD Jakes, and he was doing an interview with Charlemagne the God. But anyway, TD Jakes has a book about, I think it's called Disruption, or some play on the title from Disruption. And as I said, I was leery because I know his won't say belief about homosexuality and gay people in the church. I know his won't say belief. He tries to say the right thing, but I know his won't say belief. But I tipped on into the interview, was able to listen to it, take from it what I thought was great, because he's still a very super insightful man. Sometimes too poetic to where he can't even answer a question without some enlightening poetic phrase. But he has a lot of great information. And so I was listening to him, and he mentioned there's no growth without disruption, and fighting comfort, or disruption versus comfort. And whenever you are disrupting something, you are preparing it for growth. And he made me think, it's like preparing soil. When you cultivate soil, you're preparing it for growth. And so I never think about um myself, disrupting my comfort, you know, because I'm preparing to grow. And I thought that was really insightful, because a lot of my growth here lately over the last year has been a disruption to my comfort. I have not been comfortable talking openly to people about what I think and feel spiritually. I have not always been openly comfortable about talking to people, or just sort of announcing and affirming to people, yes, I do have a spiritual belief. Yes, I do believe in God. Yes, I do believe that I am a claimed, or just a spiritual being. Just my essence is spiritual. My essence is God. And so, and I have moved away from the insecure narrative, or I'm moving away from the insecure feeling that I can't talk to um, who I call traditional believers, Christian believers, about what I feel my place is in God, and that I don't worry about my soul. I do not worry about my soul. Everything that I learn is pushing me forward. It's cultivating my soil for continued growth. And moving beyond comfort is a disruption. It's just a disruption of familiar patterns. And Michael Beckwith says this too. Let me go back to my favorite guy, Michael Bernard Beckwith says that there is freedom in the unknown. And when you disrupt a familiar pattern, when you're comfortable enough to disrupt a familiar pattern, you find freedom in the unknown, because there are no rules in the unknown. You get to figure out something new. You get to form a new path. You get to um, create something new. It's a brand new canvas. The unknown is a brand new canvas. I love that. The unknown is a brand new canvas. You can make it whatever you want. You become new. And so, yeah, he gave me that. And I received that, and I appreciated that. But it also made me realize, child, you are triggered by these. You are triggered by the um, by your experience in the church. And let me say this, man. I've had some awesome childhood memories in the church. Couldn't have thanked my mother. I can't thank my mother enough for choosing the church that she took us to, because I believe everything that happened in my life led me to this journey that I'm on now. If I had not experienced what I experienced in church, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have become a seeker. Um, my spiritual, my spiritual self wouldn't have needed to feel. My spiritual self wouldn't have needed to seek for a disruption in what I'd already known. There's no growth without disruption. When you pull a vegetable from the soil, you're disrupting the soil. You're disrupting the vegetable from where it had been growing. When you when a woman gives birth to a child, that's a disruption in the child's comfort for it to become born into a new world, for it to continue to grow and create something new. That's a disruption. A new birth is a disruption. There's so many beautiful and wonderful things that come from disruption. Comfort breeds limitation. Comfort breeds stagnation. We should seek and crave disruption in anything that we're doing. If you are a musician, seek disruption in your vocal cords to reach a new octave. I don't know. I mean, I hope that's correct. I ain't no singer. I did background in the alto section of the choir, but that don't mean much. Disrupting your vocal cords is growth. Disrupting your muscular pattern, with lifting weights, is a process of growth. We should embrace disruption. When you plant a seed in the ground, it's all in there comfortable and cozy, but it disrupts itself by growing through the soil. Because it could stay there and it could stay comfortable, it could stay cozy, but what does it do organically, natural? Its pattern is set to grow. Each time we grow, we are disrupting. So I got that from TD Jakes. I never thought about disruption and growth. Maybe it's a common thought to some people, but I just wanted to throw that out there. One of the other things I wanted to rap about was forgiveness and how we give permission, how we give people permission to take us away from our peace of forgiveness, the peace that forgiveness gives us. Ain't there some people around that you just don't like? Ain't there some people around that you just don't even want? You feel like forgiving is too easy and you just kind of want to punish them with your eye roll. You just kind of want to punish them and keep them in the cell of your resentment. But then when you really think about it, the cell of your resentment, how much energy that takes from you to close and lock, because you have to monitor your cell of resentment. Your cell of resentment is a cage for you, because really that other person isn't around you. They're not, the person that you're resenting isn't in your presence. They're not in your visual lens each and every day for you to tell them that they're in a cage. They're walking around free. They don't know that they're in your cage, nor do they care. As long as they have access to the persons, places, and things that they want to do, your cage of resentment doesn't necessarily matter to them. So the energy that it takes you to keep somebody in your cage of resentment is a detriment to your own freedom. You are holding yourself hostage. And so Michael Bernard Beckwith, my guy, said, do not allow people to take you away from your place and your peace of forgiveness. And I said, man, listen, why is it that sometimes we just want to kind of sit in the resentment that we feel towards people? Because I know I do it. Lord knows I'm guilty. Some people that I just truly am bothered with, I just sometimes sit in my eye rolling position. It's not like my eyes are in that position, but my spirit is in eye roll form. And it's like every time I think about them, it may not be on my face, but there's an energetic eye roll. And that person could be clean across town Well, that person could be in the next room, but they don't know that I'm thinking about them and eye rolling. So what good does it do to keep myself hostage? I mean, it doesn't make me feel good. You're ruminating about it. You know, you're setting in motion some negative energy that you're going to butt dial some return back that you don't even want nothing to deal with. You don't even want nothing to do with. So, yeah, allowing people to keep you in a place where you release the peace that forgiveness brings is a cage that you put yourself in. It's cage of resentment. Unlock your cages of resentment. Free some people that probably ain't even thinking about you. Free some people, which is freeing yourself, so that you can move around and collect your next bonus blessing. Something else that somebody said this week, I really learned, because most of the time people ain't really thinking about why you're bothered with them. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about what they did. You're thinking about why you're pissed off. You're thinking about why they keep doing that same thing. You're thinking about why won't they apologize. You're thinking about why won't they acknowledge. Why won't they take accountability. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about it. They have moved on, child. Because if they were really even evolved in spirit, if they were really responsible in the spirit that they owe to themselves, then if there was something to make amends for, that they would probably take a better onus and ownership of their own spirit and try to make things right. Realign, love, if you're the person or not. But wouldn't there be a mutual collapse together of togetherness? Wouldn't there be a mutual collapse in togetherness? No, it's not, right? You the only one bothered. They have moved on. So why hold yourself hostage? Free yourself, because you're not holding them hostage. You're really holding yourself hostage. So free yourself. Release the cage. Open the cage. Open the cage and free yourself, because you're the one who's imprisoned. I mean, Lord, I have leaned in to some resentment for some people, man, and they'll call you and 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 even know that you're bothered with them. They will call you, and sometimes if it's somebody that you have to deal with, they just kind of force you to talk to them. If it's somebody you have to deal with, it could be a family member, it could be a coworker, but somebody that you kind of have to deal with, and you just look extra foul ignoring. Sometimes you can get away with it, and but then you really look like you didn't gave your piece away to somebody else. But they are moving on, and they are showing you that they're moving on. They're showing that they're not held down by your eye rolling resentment. So what are you doing to yourself? You're not holding them. And then people make you look foolish sometimes if you really think about it, and the person that you are bothered with is skipping around your space, happy, laughing, ain't thinking about you. Don't that really make you mad? They moving around, showing no remorse, don't even care you bothered, and they know you bothered, and they don't even care. God, ever have those people that go out their way to let you know? They laugh extra loud, conversations extra chatting, and you know that ain't really them. Even that, they letting you know you losing. They ain't bothered with you, and you sitting there, arms folded, head in the air. Free yourself. Open up the cage and free yourself. Do not let people come and rob you of your peace and forgiveness of yourself. Forgiveness, go ahead. Why hold it hostage? Why? When you really think about it, the thing that it does to you, oh Lord, I feel checked again. Man, I have been checkmate this week. Been checkmate. So yeah, those are the couple of things that I thought were enlightening for me this week. Not letting people steal the peace of your forgiveness, and cultivate some disruption so that you can stimulate some growth. Yeah, disruption. Move away from the comfort zones. What are you really gaining? If you don't exercise muscle, you lose it. So we have to disrupt some of our muscular patterns so that we can stimulate some growth. So those are the two things that I had this week. I hope everybody's having a fantastic week. Again, if you saw my last podcast, you see that shade back there? Ain't looked at it today either. Fascinating. Fascinating. Go check out my last podcast. Don't forget, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Let me know what you think. Jump in the comments. I would love to hear back from people. I appreciate you.